What up, folks? Appreciate everybody holding in the chat, man. Sorry I'm running a little late, but having some work done down in the steel basement. The basement was never finished, so in case you guys want to know what type of work, hold on, guys. Let me cut off the stream on my other channel. On my other browser, so it's not giving double audio. All right, there we go. So yeah, guys, getting some work done in the steel basement is being finished. It will be done this week. But because of that, I am actually upstairs in my home. It's hotter up here. If anybody has ever lived in a townhome, let me just throw that at y'all really quick. If you are a first-time home buyer, like we got a 3-level townhome. That top level, it carries the heat, bro. It don't matter what the air's on. Like when we go to sleep, we pretty much got to turn the air down to about 70 in order for it to be cool. Just a pro tip to throw out there at you guys. We're definitely looking to get into a single family home at some point, but no rush right now. But long story short, getting the basement finished, getting everything in order. So when we're ready to sell the home in a few years, it's more attractive, right? But anyway, that's why I'm up here in my wife's home office. I'm using the camera from my MacBook. So if it's not the same quality that you guys are used to, that's why. But y'all don't care about that, right? All y'all really care about is what we talking about tonight, which is the Steelers. And oh boy, there's a lot to get into. So really quick, man, I don't want to hold you guys up. Let me do the intro as far as saying, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. Tonight is Steel Table night with my brother Kenyon. I did learn that my good brother Tony might make it tonight as well. He's currently not home, but he did say he might come on. So if Tony comes on, y'all to get the trio. And it's week one. It's time to talk about the Steelers, man, and what we think they may be able to do against one Buffalo Bill team. But there's so much that we want to get into, man. So let me at least read you guys the topics. 1 second, guys. I'm all over the place. Y'all know how I am when I'm not in my environment. I'm going to have to look at my phone to get all the topics, pretty much memorize them, but just in case. We're going to talk about TJ Watt, of course. That is the main topic, as you see. TJ Watt's contract situation. Talk a little bit about Tomlin's presser. Is there anything there that, we might want to point out and speak on? The signing of Ahkello. I hope I spelled his name correctly. I think it's Ahkello Witherspoon. Le'Veon Bell signing with the Baltimore Ravens. And unfortunately, we're going to talk a little bit about Tunch Ilkin, and we're going to get into that first as far as giving him a quick moment of silence. But like we always do, let's say hello to some of the early commenters. Steeler Nation, Lee Sharp, Charlie Brown, Dominic School. Oh, no, excuse me. I saw that wrong. It's Skeely. Give me a phonetic spelling on that one, but shout outs to you. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing this evening? Steeler Nation says TJ Watt, 160 million, 7 years, make it happen. Man, we're going to get into the contract stuff. Don't worry. Drama Sidell is in the building. Jared Devil, Rajon 39 or Rajon 39. Ali Howard. Who else? Jorge Gonzalez. Father-in-law Leonard is in the building. Vista Light. Did I miss anybody? Why Diggy, Rail Facts. How I was about to call Kenyon's name out, and Kenyon is on the show. How stupid of me. You say it's pronounced Shuley. Okay, my bad. So thank you for correcting that for me, Dominique. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started, guys. And no phone calls tonight. Reason being is because it's still table time. If I'm being honest, me and Kenyon are going to take a good amount of time talking. But then also because of the format that we use, Kenyon is unable to hear your phone calls. Maybe we'll try doing that in the next Steel Table that we get to. Maybe we'll try doing Blog Talk again, but it seemed like for some reason Kenyon can't never join. So it's better for him to be able to hear your calls. So that's why we don't do calls typically when we do a Steel Table. But man, Kenyon, I'll throw it to you, man. Anything else that I missed off of my list, and where would you like to begin?
We could begin where you. I'm with the Tunch stuff because that's very important. There's nothing. Let me see, but I have my notes for you. I was looking at where you're talking. The Ahkello Witherspoon signing, thoughts on general roster cuts, signings.
Oh, yeah.
Four rookie starters on offense.
That's crazy.
I mean, and then depth chart. That's pretty much it. Everything you have is what I have, but I have those are the only two I'd add. So, and TJ Watt, I don't have to talk. We already know that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the last thing that just happened about 15 minutes ago.
What was that?
With the Ravens.
Oh, yeah. Le'Veon Bell. We all know we're gonna talk about that. Well, here we go, guys. Really quick, man. Let's get a brief moment of silence for Tunch Ilkin. Unfortunately passed away. I think they said he was battling ALS.
Yeah.
So moment of silence, guys. A quick 10-second countdown. All right, rest in peace, Tunch Ilkin, man. What a great person, man. I mean, if you guys have never watched Steelers.com, Steelers Live, great stuff he did on there with Chalk Talk, as well as, if you've ever listened to a broadcast. I mean, he was great. He was great. And again, I'm not going to spend so much time trying to explain what he was, because if you don't know, I don't know what to tell you. Great man for the Steelers organization, both as a player as well as, post-career. It's unfortunate. He was only 63 years old, man. And now I guess we understand why he retired. I guess he knew, I don't think he thought death was near, but, he knew it was time to step down. And, I guess his body and stuff started failing him. So rest in peace. And also, not Steelers related. I got to say this too. Rest in peace to my man, Michael K. Williams, man. Oh,
yes.
That one hurt, man. Omar, bro. I mean, if you know, you know. That was my dude. That was a great actor. He just had a mystique about him, and even everything from like the scar on the face. It just everything he did, he was good at it.
Yep.
And man, I don't want to make this a somber show to start off, but man, if any of you guys are out there battling addiction, man, please do something to seek some help, man, because you never know. How many people have we heard, whether they're a celebrity or somebody personally, that's had a bout with an overdose? Or be careful out there, please, man. It's not a game. It's not. Yeah, Chalky White. See, my man Why Diggy be knowing. Yep. He was that dude, man. So please, guys, if you're dealing with anything like that, please get some help, man. Please.
Yeah, I mean, our last time seeing him was Lovecraft Country. Yeah. He was great. He was great in that. I mean, truly unique talent. And that's for me to use the word unique, says everything. Unique talent. A true actor in the term of the word actor. Because when you're willing to take on certain roles that you can be ostracized for, especially in our community, we can have a real conversation. But he did it. It's nothing but respect. I mean, he has so many obstacles. Scar on the face, you still make it. I mean, these are all things that were working against him, and he made it in Hollywood. And just sad to see somebody go like that with so much positive energy. He was such a positive guy working in the community. He was helping the community, which is that takes it to another level. So now it's like, okay, you giving back to your own community, which is a lot of people don't do that. So he'll be sorely missed. That's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Sad. But hey, man, he left his mark, Yep. So yeah. All right, man. Let's get on to some football. So, what you say, man?
It's week 1. It's time to go. It's week 1. No more preseason. No more. This guy's trash. After seeing one preseason game, all that's over. Now it's about to get to the real stuff. No more of this speculation and all this other stuff. We know the roster. Let's roll. And from there, we can go into whatever you want to talk about, son, because I'm ready to go.
Yeah, well, let's read the roster really quick, man. Let's just set it up that way. And then I think the first thing we'll talk about, just to get it out of the way, we'll talk about Bell. So let me try to give us a little structure. So let's do Bell.
Okay.
Let's do Witherspoon. Then we'll do Tomlin. And then we'll do TJ. And then we'll kind of just talk about what we think could transpire or our feelings towards week 1. So let's start with that. So basically, I'm not going to read it in depth chart order. Well, actually, hold on. Let me just go to roster. That's easy. Ain't no need of me giving y'all the depth chart. Y'all should know who plays where. And if you don't, I'm not going to tell you. So here we are. I'm going to read off the names. Kendrick Green, J.C. Hasenauer. Wow, I got his name correct. B.J. Finney, Joe Hayden, Justin Lane, Arthur Marlette, James Pierre, Cameron Sutton, Ahkello Witherspoon. That was a shock, but he's on the team. Trey Norwood, Tyson. Oh, they actually give you phonetic spelling on Steelers.com. I've been saying it wrong all this time. You know, I've always said, is it Alu or Alu?
Oh, right.
It's Alu.
Yeah, Alu, yeah.
Tyson Alu. Isaiah Buggs, Isaiah Loudermilk, Chris Wormley, Carlos Davis, Cam Haywood, Derek Watt, Trey Turner, UG3, Chris Boswell, Marcus Allen, Devin Bush, Alex Highsmith, Melvin Ingram, Buddy Johnson, Joe Schobert, wearing number 93. Interesting.
Yeah.
Robert Spillane, TJ Watt. We're going to get to him. Christian Kuntz, a new long snapper. Rashad Coward, Kevin Dotson, Chukwuma Okorafor, Jameer Jones, Joe Haig, Dan Moore Jr., Presley Harvin, the big boy, punting the ball away. Big Ben Roethlisberger, Dwayne Haskins, Mason Rudolph, Kalen Ballage, Najee Harris, Benny Snell, Terrell Edmonds, Minka Fitzpatrick, Miles Killebrew, Eric Ebron, Pat Fryermuth, Zach Gentry, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Ray McLeod, Joe, I was about to say JoJo Smith-Schuster, Juju Smith-Schuster, and James Washington. Injured reserve right now, Zach Banner. Interesting. DeMarcus Christmas, which, no disrespect to him, but your number 93 got taken away. So what's he really going to do?
Right.
Josh Dobbs, we kind of predicted that a little bit after the last preseason game. Anthony McFarland, I'm sorry to see that, but we'll see. And here's the funny thing too, Kenyon, just as an aside. You know how sometimes I call some people highlight watchers? I saw people talking about, man, how is Benny Snell the number 2 running back on the depth chart? I don't understand it. Well, the guy that probably was going to be number 2 because of Matt Canada is on injured reserve. And I saw other people saying this to people on Twitter, like, well, don't you know what's going on with the roster right now? They don't. They have no idea. They are oblivious to what the team is doing. And honestly, I got to point the finger at you guys, man. Come on, man. We got to be better. We got to be better fans. Even if you don't know football that well, you should know the team and understand what the team is doing. I'm just saying. And then, unfortunately, man, really sorry to hear this, and it was speculation on this as well. Stephon Tuitt was on the injured reserve list. Practice squad guys, Daniel Archibong. I don't know who that is at all. Rookie from Temple. Trey Edmonds. Not sure why he continues to stick. Just saying. I'm just saying. Mark Gilbert, Chaz Green, Carl Joseph. We almost forgot to mention that. Interesting. Yeah. John LeGlue, Big Henry Mondo circled back. Malcolm Prigion, I think is how you say his name. Yeah. Kevin Rader, Jalen Samuels. We kind of predicted that. Deontay Scott, not familiar with him at all.
That was practice squad. Yeah, practice squad today.
Practice squad guy. Yeah, they say he's from SMU, 1-year player. Steven Sims, I am a little familiar with him, man. He played for Washington. He's a receiver. I think a slot, if I'm not mistaken. Donovan Steiner, Derek Tazuka, I think is how you say his name. Not too familiar with him. Is it Zuka? Okay, see, I don't know.
You don't pronounce the T.
Got you. Not familiar with him, but, I did read some things about him. So apparently he has a little bit of upside. So it's cool to see us replace a Roche, I guess you want to say, with somebody who has some upside. Tyler Vaughn, another receiver, and then Cody White. And I think Cody White, man, let's keep our eyes on him. It's something about him I think could potentially be something. I know I might be off and early on that, but
Steelers like him.
Yeah, let's watch him, man. Let's watch him. And then Rico Bussey is on the practice squad injured list. And there's your team, folks.
And they signed Tyler Vaughn from USC.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kenya told me that earlier. So there you go. And hold on, guys. I think we got Tony is in, I believe. He said he'll be in a minute. So great. We're going to have all three of us tonight. So let's go ahead and get Bell out the way, man. I'm going to let Kenya kick this one off.
But see, here's the thing. We got to wait because Tony is really that's a Tony topic, the Bell thing. So actually, we might have to, pause on that for a second and let Tony get in. And then if he gets in, he can go up.
Oh, no. We can point it back to him when he get in.
But yeah, I mean, my thoughts on. I'll just give you quick thoughts on Le'Veon. I don't have a lot of. I'm not gonna say bad stuff on Le'Veon. Look, man. Ravens. They had to address their running back situation. They lost two backs in the span of 4 weeks or 2 weeks, essentially. He worked out for him. He's going there now. I don't know how much run. I don't know how much run he will actually get. As Sim said, Gus Edwards may get the bulk of the carries, or whatever. But if Le'Veon is there, it's an interesting thing. Sim and I were talking before we came on, and I said that thing about Le'Veon is you have to block different, which is why if you see him when you saw him in Kansas City, he wasn't the same. The Jets wasn't the same. You have to kind of block different. Your offensive line has to kind of be catered to Le'Veon's run style, and the Ravens have a particular way that they run the ball. It's their strength. It's the one thing that they do great, excellent. So. We shall see. I agree with Sim. You're not getting prime Le'Veon Bell. I don't know if he's after prime. I don't know what he is right now. So, I wish him well. It will be interesting if he's on the roster when we play them. I don't think we play the Ravens till like later on in the season. So it'll be interesting to see if he plays against us. It'll be interesting to see him watch Najee, who they compare to him, but it's just a different type of cat than Le'Veon, and that should be interesting. But I wish him well. I never had ill will towards Le'Veon. I thought he just made. I don't want to use the word stupid because I'm not trying to degrade us, but it's he just made questionable decisions. Which led him to the place he was. I mean, he and AB. I know people want to wax poetic about the killer bees, but I'm just gonna be honest. I don't look at the killer bees the same way. I don't look at it like, we had this great offense. I look at it like they didn't accomplish anything to me, and that's just me. Because if you don't win it, it doesn't mean anything to me. But that's me. I have a different expectation. You know what I mean? So, or the Steelers do. I know the Steelers care about Super Bowls. They don't care about conference championships and winning the division. That Cleveland cares about that. We don't care about that. So it's kind of they didn't accomplish what they looked like on paper. They looked like a great team. I'm pretty sure they were great on Madden. If you had killer bees, you probably scored like 50 points. But and
Montavious was a serious problem with that.
so if you have that, I'm pretty sure it was great. But when I think about them, I think about we didn't have a great defense, and to me, that's why you never advanced farther than you could have advanced. So I wish him well. Who would have thought that if somebody had asked you, AB would have won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay and Le'Veon would be playing for the Ravens, how many people would have taken that bet?
That's
an interesting thing. So
I'm not gonna speak ill on him, man. I mean, listen, I told you guys it's nothing personal. I don't know these players. Obviously, they don't know me. I mean, we judge them when they're with the Steelers because that's what we do. We're fans, and then I don't know what you call me. I'm not a journalist, but I quote unquote cover the Steelers now in a public setting. So I'm always going to talk about the team and what's best for the team. But once they're gone, they're gone. Listen, I do think he made a bad decision in hindsight going to the Jets. What he was looking to get, he virtually would have gotten it. There's no way Le'Veon Bell was cut within 3 years after signing that deal with us. It wouldn't have happened. He would have made more money with us than he did with the Jets, plain and simple. And maybe his career would have been more sustainable, with the Steelers. And I'm not saying it just because it's the Steelers, but we all know that he was very successful behind the offensive line. And we knew the system. Come on, man. It just didn't work out for him, So, and he's older now. And it's crazy how him and Todd Gurley, you look at these guys, and remember that was the measuring stick of how much is Bell going to get. Well, Gurley got that. Now, well, until today, both of them are out the league. And I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know how he fits in the Ravens style of run game. And again, this is where I would say we're not highlight style football watchers. We're not just, they got Le'Veon Bell. They're going to be dangerous. No, it's a whole lot that goes into that. They could, but I just don't know. I got to see it because knowing what we know about Bell, I got to see that, with the way Lamar orchestrates the offense. So, hey, man, we'll see. Do well. Just don't do it when you play us.
Yeah.
And somebody mentioned in the chat, that is interesting. He's going to be running with Lil Al.
Yeah.
We'll be blocking for him. That's interesting.
Yeah. Le'Veon was, it's just weird that you think about, he was on a trajectory to be a Hall of Fame running back. He was on a trajectory with the Steelers to be he had a chance to be the greatest Steelers running back. He had a shot to actually achieve that goal. And, as Sim said, to turn down when it's just so interesting how stuff works out when you turn down money. And I don't want to use a basketball analogy, but there's a guy that played for the Lakers this year who doesn't play for the Lakers anymore, who turned down $80 million from the Lakers, betting on himself. And now he had to sign a 1-year, $2.5 million prove-it deal with the Boston Celtics. I'm just saying, sometimes you make decisions, you can bet on yourself, but you have to really, that's weird. It's weird, but I wish the best for Le'Veon until they play us. When they play us, I just want to, beat him up. So, but that's just me. So, it's cool, but what could have been? I hate to do that, but it's what could have been. That's all it is when I think about Le'Veon. AB during that period of time. So.
Yeah, man. A real live analogy, and then we'll move on, is the Steelers Killer Bees, unfortunately, will never be fully compared to the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
And that hurts because they just didn't get it done. You know what I mean? And that team did. Took them a couple times, but the defense just wasn't complimenting. I'm not going down that road, man, but yeah. All right, let's get back to the topic, guys. Let's see. I said the next thing we were going to hit was, I said we were going to talk about Witherspoon. I'll kick that off because honestly saying, I don't know as much about him. I kind of saw him, saw his name and stuff pop up here and there when I watch a Niners game, like when we played him, but I didn't key in on him. Believe me when I say, man, if it's not the Steelers, I generally know a lot of the teams and a lot of the players, but certain guys, if I'm not focusing on those type of positions unless they really stand out. Like obviously how you take a Richard Sherman in his prime, you're gonna know who that is. You know who Jalen Ramsey is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Witherspoon I just remember him as being number 23, I think, in their defense, but I don't know much about him. From what I'm hearing is he's a press corner, more of a man guy. I honestly don't know how good or how bad he is. It concerned me at first when I heard that we got him from Seattle because I remembered him from the Niners. So then I was like, well, wait, did he play with the Niners? With Seattle at all? But then I learned No, he was acquired by them. He hadn't played a down with them. So I'm like, oh, okay. So he's only played with the one team, and who knows why Seattle was willing to trade him. I don't care about any of that. What I will say is this. Honestly, I'm happy about it because, I've been saying this since before the preseason, before training camp. Was a little concerned about our cornerback position. We all were hoping James Pierre would perk up. Looks like to me he has. It looks like he's earned playing time. We all don't really know what Cam Sutton is truly going to be on the outside. We haven't seen him much out there. We all know and love him as a slot. In fact, we used to rotate him in for coverage when, and take Hilton out. We haven't seen him long term on the outside. Gave up a couple catches here and there in the preseason, and some people was already calling him a bust. I'm not going to do that. But we don't know. Joe Hayden, he's telling us he's in great shape, but come on, Joe. You can't run the way you used to. You know what I mean? And you ain't as twitchy as you used to be, and we playing some dogs at receiver this year. We don't know. So any help that we can get, Justin Lane, does he make any of us comfortable? Probably not. Let's see what we can get out of Witherspoon. I like the fact that he is a size, like they say, height, weight, and size guy, whatever, height, weight, and speed guy. Yeah. I don't know how fast he is, but I don't think he's a slow guy. But I like his measurables, man. A little bit of tape that I saw. He looks good. He kind of reminds me, and this is not a direct comparison, but he kind of reminds me of what we say about James Pierre. He's a guy that can play tight and things like that. I don't know how good or bad he is.
Right.
But I am happy that the Steelers addressed it. Because honestly, man, we ain't have nobody behind. You talking about Justin Lane being your next man off.
Your full corner.
He's your full corner. Man. Yeah. Oh, 4'5", okay, 4'5", 40. That ain't bad. And here's the thing: Kenya would know this, being an athlete and all. 4'5" is not slow.
No,
it's a myth that dudes that run a 4'5" is slow. That dude is balling. It's just that the 4'3" guy is really balling. But 4'5" is it's decent speed. Like that's good enough speed for a guy to play corner, and can have some recovery speed and things like that. And can probably stay with a guy so long as he's got enough leeway. Now the 4'3" dude might, if you press and miss, it's a house call. That's the difference, football speed. You know what I mean? But that's good, man, because he's relatively tall. And yeah, I'm cool with it. Like I said, man, I'm glad to see that the Steelers are continuing to try to better the situation. And we might as well throw Carl Joseph in the mix. That's the dude that the Steelers were trying to acquire, when he was a free agent. You get him on the practice squad, you just never know. We might have some tricks up our sleeve that we could throw out in certain situations to at least be competitive in the secondary. But I'm going to be honest, Kenya, man, and hopefully you know a little more about Witherspoon than I do. Yeah. I'm a little nervous, man, as far as I'm going to be all the way honest. Even with Sutton inside, and let's say it's Pierre who probably starts in nickel, at least early. I'm just a little nervous, man, because think about this. There's going to be times against the Bills, we're going to see Stephon Diggs move inside. We know it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, bro. Then you got to worry about it. Let's say Diggs stays outside. You forget they got Emmanuel Sanders now. And you forget they still got, what's my man's name, man? Beasley.
Oh, Beasley, yeah. Cole Beasley. But I don't personally see, they'll move Diggs around, but Beasley is really your slot. So
yeah,
he's really the main slot. And then as far as Ahkello goes, I saw Ahkello at Colorado so I saw him 2 times a year.
Oh, that's it.
Every year.
4'4" or 5. Oh,
yeah, he's
okay.
4'4". He's 4'4", 5. So he's fast. He was at Colorado, so I saw him against USC all the time. I knew who he was. And he's very talented. I will just say that. He's very, very talented. But I think he's one of those guys that when you're really talented and somebody makes plays on you, he kind of gets in his own head, and that's what led him to getting benched against because when they went to the Super Bowl, he was a starting cornerback until the conference championship. He got burnt, he got beat. They took him out. You never saw him again. And I think that can, you get in your own head. It can mess your whole game up. As cornerbacks, as DBs, so when you play football, this DBs, you have to forget getting burnt. Like that has to be something that you can't really take to heart. You can be pissed, but you have to keep moving and
shake it off.
Yeah, you got to shake it off. And Ahkello is one of those guys who can get his own head. People say it's curious that Seattle let him go, but he got beat out. And also, Seattle doesn't play man like that. I don't know if he's really a man corner, a press man corner, and Seattle is a cover three. They play zone. That's what they do. Cover three, cover. That's what they do most of the time. So, I think that what you're going to see with him in Pittsburgh, and I personally think he can push Pierre because one thing he has over Pierre right now is he's actually played in big games. He's actually made plays in games, in big games. He has pick sixes. He has great ball skills. We don't know what Pierre's. I know he gets picks in practice and all that stuff. That's great, but Ahkello got picks in the game. So he got to pick against Ben. I know no one else remember that, but he did. He got to pick against Ben when Pittsburgh went to San Francisco. 3 years ago? Remember when they went to San? He got a pick. So you have to look at it like, I think he can push. I think the person that hurts is Lane. Like Lane is going to be straight special. You're not going to see Lane. You're not going to see him anymore. But Ahkello can push Pierre. And if we go on like off of experience and talent and just pure athletic ability, I would take Ahkello over Pierre because I don't know what Pierre is yet. And I think Ahkello, once he knows the system, I know people say, look, man, you can lose your job. Kevin Colbert, as I said, the previous steel table, if this works out, you have to give it up. This is the best job Kevin Colbert has ever done being GM for the Steelers in offseason. The moves that he's made, which are subtle, are the best moves we've ever seen. So Ahkello, to me, is a guy I would tell everybody to watch out for if he learns the system. He's not a great tackler, and that's an issue. But maybe he'll hit a little bit better. His recognition and read and recognition of plays is really good. Like there are plays where you see him blowing up screens and doing all this other stuff. So he was doing this stuff in college. So I liked him in college because he was a long corner. I like those big corners, and especially watching him against, and Tim will notice, watching him against USC, which means he used to be matched up against Michael Pittman and people like that. And Ahkello did good, and now Michael Pittman did torch them, and he was trying to cover him, but everybody gets torched. So I like his upside, and if his mind is right, he could press Pierre, and to me that only makes the DB stronger. If you're moving Cam Sutton in the nickel, what you lose from the blitzing that Hilton give you, Cam Sutton makes up for it in coverage because Cam Sutton is the better cover guy than Hilton was. And Carl Joseph is another little wild card that you could throw in there because he can do the stuff that Hilton could do. And if he could he's frustrating because if you watched his tape, Carl Joseph, his highlight tape, he was killing people, but you can't go on highlights. And he has to play like that during a game. And he has stretches where he plays like that. But if he can play consistently and give something to our defense, I'm cool with that too. I think Trey Norwood's too young, and but the Steelers love Trey Norwood. You can tell right now they love him. So, we're gonna see Trey Norwood progress during the year, and our other safeties are great. I like them, so we'll see. But I like the Ahkello sign. I think it's a nice little signing. Another thing to cap off what Colbert has done, and if he comes up to speed, people just. Don't be surprised if you see him. Don't be surprised if you see him this week. Like it's not gonna surprise me. So I'm just saying. And that's all I got on him. I saw, I know a little bit about him. I saw him in college. I kind of pre-scouted him. Not thinking Pittsburgh would get him, but I was pre-scouting. So, yep.
Yeah, man. And, that could segue us right into Tomlin's presser because there's a couple things he mentioned I wanted to talk about. Shout outs to LD Carter as well as Solo One. Appreciate both of you for the donations, man. Of course, guys, when I'm not in my own environment, I don't hear them the same and I don't have my round of applause and all that. So virtual round of applause, or like they do in poetry, snaps to you guys. But let's read LD Carter's comment here. He says Ahkello is super athletic, talented corner. Problem is he knows it and doesn't use his technique all the time. Will definitely keep Pierre and Sutton. Yeah, and listen, that is a good and bad trait to have.
Yep.
If it happens the way you said, then that's not a good thing. If he relies on his athleticism and not his technique, could get him in trouble. The only thing that I think I'll be optimistic about is everyone that I'm hearing, even Kenyon just did it, is saying he has talent, he's athletic. So now it comes down, can the Steelers coach him up? It's just that simple. What I haven't heard about him, I haven't really heard anybody drag him and say that he's not good, he's useless, he doesn't have any talent. Why did we trade for? I haven't heard any of that. So, and then even I believe it might have been Alex Kazua, one of those guys, was saying that he wasn't as good of a tackler in college, and as they watched his film, it looks like that has improved. So, listen, man, hopefully he works out. And like Kenyon said, Colbert has done a job. And, just to take from one thing that I heard in the press conference, did y'all notice, if you listen to it, when Tomlin was kind of saying they got an ace in the hole and got some tricks up their sleeve in terms of how they're going to approach the nickel and sub package. So stay glued to this week to see if a guy like Joseph is upgraded from the practice squad, and like kind of pay attention to that. So by the time I get to the pregame show Friday, well, let's see. I can't. Y'all know how to go. I can't never promise if it's Friday or Saturday. Just be on the lookout for it. It will happen though. But I try to at least wait until Friday, so we have the full roster as far as who's playing and who we project to be active and who's on the practice, who might be injured, yada, yada, yada. But by that time, we should see if a dude like Carl Joseph is upgraded, then there it is. Maybe that's what Tomlin is talking about. Because to quote him directly, he said, we got options. Whereas us in the fan base is kind of like, who are the options? Because, when Marlette went down and y'all know that Brooks was kind of the way most of us was leaning. And then we like, okay, who's going to be the option? And everybody keeps saying still, no, we're going to work Cam on the outside. So clearly they want to keep Sutton on the outside and try that first and give somebody else a chance inside. So we'll see. Something else Tomlin said, man, now I'm forgetting it, that I wanted to talk about here was something he mentioned. Oh, the TJ Watt situation, and we'll get to that. We'll basically wrap up with that. Tomlin says he expects him to practice and fully participate. He says he's optimistic that a deal will get done, and we're going to talk about that. But it's funny how the media reacts to these things and just the general fans. What do you expect him to say? You expect Tomlin to come out and say, nah, I don't think he's going to practice. I don't think a deal getting done. So I don't never understand why that type of stuff is newsworthy. Now get it. Everybody has a job to do. When you're in that business, whether you run a blog or whatever, of course, the object is to have content and get traffic. I get it. But do we really need to make a big deal about that statement? Because is Mike Tomlin or any head coach for that matter going to say, I don't think we're going to sign him. He's probably not going to practice this week. Or he's going to sit out. Or, he's not going to play because we're not expecting to have a contract. So what did you expect him to say? Man, Kenyon, I swear there was some other stuff in the press conference that I'm forgetting.
You talked about
And you guys in the chat can help out as well. Is anything that caught you guys' attention from his conference? You know, if you saw it, and we'll be happy to talk about it. C. Antoine Hill says he really wants us to get C.J. Henderson. That's not happening now, man. I think we already busted our gun, man. We licked our shot, and Witherspoon is it. I don't think there are no more trade situations or because Henderson is not a free agent or anything, right?
No.
Yeah. So, and speaking of that, how you guys feeling? Like right now, the Steelers looking very thin in the draft, you know, beyond round 3 next year. So, you know, who knows what'll happen between now and then, but right now it looks like, and they said something about the compensatory pick compensation might not be the same now.
But I think always think about it like this. Colbert doesn't trade people unless he knows he's getting picks back.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's not going to make trades unless, you know what I mean? He knows that they're going to get comp picks, like multiple. They may get more than one. So, you know, I think they'll be okay. I think they know that. So that's why they're making the moves that they're making. You know, they don't throw away picks like that. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm not like, you know, I'm not really worried about it. I'm kind of like, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? And we'll see what happens with the comp picks. So, hopefully we get a 4th, 5th, you know what I mean? And that's cool for us, you know, but yeah, I'm with it.
Shout outs to C. Antoine Hill with the donation, man. Appreciate that, brother. He says, I would love to see a formation where Joseph is at strong safety, Edmonds is at sub. Hey, man, listen, I would love to see it too from this standpoint. We know the Steelers have been trying to, or at least wanted to play kind of a big nickel type situation, 3 safeties. We knew that when they brought in Burnett, right?
Yep.
And we all tried to figure out, okay, is he going to be the dime backer or is he going to play sub? Then you even saw it with a guy from the UAAF or what was the name of that league?
AAF, yeah.
Cam Kelly. He played, and there was some 3 safety rotation. So I would assume, Antoine, that, yeah, I mean, I would love to see it, regardless of where they put, you know, who is where. You know, it could be a situation, and don't throw this out, could be a situation where Minka is as sub. Could very well be. I mean, you just never know because they like to move him. So whatever the case may be, I would like to see some type of setup where it's those 3 safeties on the field. You know, why not? I'm not opposed to that idea.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Tom talked about Dan Moore. I mean, I guess we can get into the rookies and the rookies that are starting a really young offensive line for us. You know, I think I said 2 weeks ago that 3 weeks ago that our future left tackle and left guard was going to be Dan Moore, and you know what I mean? That was our future, and our future is now. So, you know, it's interesting that it's young guys that we're kind of starting in certain positions. Really pleased with the Pat Frymuth and Eric Ebron essentially being 1 and 1A, or 1 and 1A, however you want to look at it. I think Frymuth has. I mean, it doesn't shock me with what he does. I think it just confirmed what what I saw when I watched him at Penn State before he got hurt. And I mean, he's the opposite of Ebron. He doesn't drop catchable balls. He just catches them. You know what I mean? In the red zone, he's gonna be a factor. You know, and I think you can tell Ben loves him. So, and Dan Moore, Tomlin did say that he didn't think he underestimated Dan Moore, that's something for Tomlin to say that he underestimated Dan Moore. You know, Tomlin's not big on you know what I mean? We're not going to give you credit. So he was like, we underestimated what he was. And Dan Moore clearly has outplayed Chooks. You can argue behind Dotson, he's been the second most impressive lineman. You know what I mean? Once Dotson got up to speed. And Dotson and him, they're both little maulers, and you like that. Which I think, with Chooks starting at the right tackle right now, I kind of think we know what's up with Chooks now. I think, next year Pittsburgh will be looking for a right tackle or a tackle in general that can play right tackle, somebody that can complete that offensive line. Kendrick Green, he's going to have his struggles here and there, but I like his athleticism. I think it's only a positive. And one thing I will say, all three of those guys, Dotson, Moore, and Green, they're all maulers. They all do the same thing. And when you want to run the ball, you need guys like that. See, I don't think Chooks is a mauler. I think he's a finesse blocker. I think he's a zone blocker. And I think, until we get that all straightened out, it's going to be a growth period. But the easiest thing to do when you have a young offensive line is run the ball. And we have a back that can tote the rock 30-plus times if need be. So I'm good. I'm cool with it, and I'm glad Tomlin kind of acknowledged that Dan Moore was better than advertised. I saw a couple of Texas A&M games, and I thought he was good, but he kind of came into camp a little bit different, and you kind of like that. And I have positive thoughts on Dan Moore. He's going to struggle. He's going to give up sacks. He's going to miss plays. He's a rookie. All three of them going to do it. But that's part of the growth process. And if it gets us to a better place at the end of the season, I'm happy. So, yeah, I'm glad Tomlin made that statement. What do you have on that, Sam?
Yeah, like you said, man. Here's another pro tip, guys. Sidebar. When you work and you're in a, I'm on the management level, right? So when you're at a certain level and your job uses teams to communicate, forget the sign out of it. I mean, don't forget to sign out of it even when you're at home, because I just received a message and I like this person. So that's why I replied. But I'm like, bro, it's 8:34. But you never off, man. But yeah, it was cool to see. Yeah, man, Tomlin don't do that, man. Y'all know Tomlin is the Mr. I don't live in hypotheticals and what if he done to earn it? He's that guy. So for him to say, I think Dan Moore's floor was higher than we thought. Wow. Okay. That is interesting. So, like Kenya said, man, listen, you're going to have three guys on the offensive line that might concern you a bit against the Ravens front. And honestly, I haven't looked at their depth chart to know who's still there, who isn't. Right. But the Ravens usually have a decent front.
I mean the Bills?
Why am I thinking Ravens? Yeah, the Bills. Le'Veon, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you concern yourself about Chooks a little bit. I mean, Chooks had some decent moments last year, and he had some not so decent moments. I probably prefer him to be on the right side. At least we know what he is there. We don't have to wonder. And you would expect even a Ben Roethlisberger would know his inefficiencies and kind of knows, okay, if I see this happening to him early, I know where to step and I know how to audible, all of that. Kendrick Green concerns you a little bit because we kind of got a chance to see, man, where his weak spot was. Power is going to be one of his weaknesses as far as a guy that can bull rush him, a guy that's bigger than him. I do think, though, he's going to be a guy that can work hard enough to at least learn how to compensate a little bit. I don't think he's going to get bullied all the time, but sometimes you're just facing a bigger guy, or you're facing a guy that can get better leverage, or a guy that can overpower you, and you're not so big, it's going to happen. Right. And then, Dan Moore, you have a slight concern only because he's a rookie. I mean, you got to face those facts. But like Kenya said, man, I think that left side is going to be our strongest suit. Trey Turner, I still want to see more out of him, as far as with the Steelers. So we'll get a chance to really see what this line is about. But clearly, I think that left side is going to be better. And yeah, to hear Tomlin praise him like that, Pay attention, folks.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Yeah. I like Dan Moore's arm length. I like the way he uses his arms. I think he does that way better than Chooks does. You know what I mean? I like his feet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a mauler, and he's not scared of the competition. You know, he's had fights in camp, and to me, people look at fights differently. I look at fights like that's good because now I know. You know what I mean? I know he has that part of him. You know what I mean? If you you know, you have to have that. So, as I said, I think that's the last piece to our offensive line. I agree with you with Trey Turner. I think, guard and that right side. I'm with you. That right side. Yeah. I mean, Trey Turner was an all-pro. Yeah, Trey Turner was an all-pro, so I can't dismiss him.
Right.
But Chooks, on the other hand, be very interesting to watch that.
Yeah, man. And Zach Banner, I see some of you guys commenting. This is a concern, man. I only hope. I hope it was a setback from the original ACL. And some people might say, "Oh, that sounds bad." No, it doesn't. Think about what I'm saying. We saw him play a little bit in the last preseason game, or it might have been the game before that. One of those games. Right?
Yeah, he did play. Yeah.
And you would hope the issue now is not quite ready. What you don't want is there's a new injury that has come about, because then now we're talking about a whole different can of worms. But if it's just one of those situations, maybe he wasn't quite ready to go, great. Then at least you know he'll be back. And I think it speaks volumes to that. You know, again, if you kind of know the way teams are constructed, seeing the way, again, like Kenya said about Colbert, seeing how Colbert and crew, because there's other people in personnel that handle roster and all of that, how they've handled this roster, knowing that they will be able to, okay, let's keep this guy. We can put him on IR. He has to be on the 53 so we can bring him back. That's a good sign that you would think, okay, they think that he's going to come back. Same with Stephon Tuitt. Same with guys like AMAC, Anthony McFarland.
Right.
Good sign. But let's keep an eye on Zach Banner, man, because honestly, I think Zach Banner, just from the little bit that we've seen, I think he has the potential to be better than Chooks on the right side. Just, from his sheer body size. That's a big dude. All he got to do is be all right. You know what I mean? But hopefully he'll come back, and we'll see what we have to work with at that time. Yeah. Angel Johnson, come on, man. We ain't answering these type of questions. This ain't the podcast for that, man.
Right, and it's an obvious answer. So why would you put that in there?
Yeah, come on, man.
The answer is obvious. Don't put questions like that in there.
Yeah, that's
an obvious answer. That's not.
If you really want to,
no disrespect, but that's an obvious answer. Don't one is all time.
We're gonna leave you with a cliffhanger. We're not even gonna tell you
exactly.
But come on,
come on, man.
Come on, man. Get out of here with that, man. Yeah, I think that about gets it for Tomlin. Let me make sure I ain't got nothing else, man, and then we can.
Yeah. I think Tomlin said that. That's all he talked about, really. I mean, those are the main things that we stress. I mean, before you get into TJ.
Yeah, we'll hit TJ, and then we'll talk about, kind of what we're expecting for week one. Yeah. Listen, man, I'm going to try not to be so long with this. I'm a little bit in my feelings about what's happening right now with TJ Watt from this perspective. Hopefully what we've seen so far with going all the way back to Minkah Fitzpatrick, that trade, going up to get Devin Bush, signing Steven Nelson, the type of trades that we've seen this year, it's outside of the norm, right? I hope that's a trend that we're going to see with one TJ Watt. And some people may, I see we have quite a few people watching tonight. Thank you, first of all. But some of you might not understand where I'm going with this, so I'll just shoot it right out. The Steelers generally, they just don't. From as far back as I remember, Let's just say from the beginning of Ben Roethlisberger, for to keep it more current, go all the way back to 2004 till now. The Steelers do not offer huge money up front to anyone that is not playing quarterback. They just don't do it. They are good with paying their contracts. They have a very high, rate of actually paying their contracts out, but they just don't give you a ton via guaranteed money. What they've traditionally done, especially in the Roethlisberger era, your signing bonus is typically your guarantees. Again, think back to Le'Veon Bell's contract. That was his beef. We were going to pay Le'Veon. He was going to make, 16 a year?
Yeah.
Dude was going to make $60 million, but he was stuck on the guarantees, which I get it. But again, he was guaranteed $33 million. That would have got him that in 2 seasons. Le'Veon Bell would have played at least, there's almost a guarantee he would have been on the roster for 3 of those 5 years. That is a fact. More than likely 4 of those years. He would have made his money. But when you're not a quarterback, the Steelers don't break the bank. Y'all know how they construct their contracts. They do the signing bonus, so it's not extremely huge. Then they pay that over time, and then they kind of reduce your base salary for the first year, and then it starts to build. That's how they do. Now, to circle back to what I was saying, I hope the trend of them getting out of the norm happens with TJ. Because listen, man, TJ Watt is looking at Joey Bosa.
Yep.
He's looking at Myles Garrett. He's looking at their guarantees. He's probably even looking at their yearly average.
Yep.
I'm not putting this on TJ Watt. Some people are already trying to do that. He is an NFL player. He's playing in a business. He's betting on himself, bettering himself, protecting his investment, which is himself. Man has a wife, I think. Yeah, I think he has a wife. Fiance. Okay, I'm thinking about Derek. Derek got married recently.
Derek.
Come on, man. I mean, I know what y'all going to say. Well, Sim, golly, what's the difference in 10 million and 15 million? Well, I don't know because I ain't never had either one. But I never had either one.
Exactly.
So, I know what y'all going to say, man. He can live off. Dog, I'm not counting no man's money.
Nope.
Because if Kenyon was to come to me and be like, yo, man, I got, because y'all know Kenyon, was in the music business. And then Kenyon come to me and be like, look, this label telling me that they going to offer da-da-da-da. But then this one is offering. You think I'm going to be mad at Kenyon for being like, I'm going to hold out? Because, and this might be money that neither one of us has ever seen in our life, right. But record companies make billions. So stick it to them. So I hate when people do that about athletes because guess what? They are in a privileged position because they were able to make it through all of the nonsense, grueling sport, and these owners making billions. So why not try to be the richest you can in that short amount of time so the rest of your life is set, generational wealth? Wouldn't some of y'all have loved if your parent was an NFL superstar? Or Michael Jordan or somebody like that. And now, hopefully you would stay humble, but now you're able to have generational wealth because of Pops or Mom Dukes. Or so I'm never mad at any man for trying to get what he can get, especially in a sport like football. But Steelers, y'all gonna have to pay this dude, man. Mr. Rooney. You're going to have to do something. You cannot, this can't be one of them situations where, and it's hard for me to say this guy's as a principled person. I rock with anybody who sticks to their guns and their principles. So it's hard for me to tell the Rooneys, you're going to have to break your principle.
Right.
But it's a new day. We think about this Steelers and Mr. Rooney. Who knows? Maybe one of your grandkids or something, for whatever reason, they found Sim on YouTube and they sitting in a room right now playing the video and you overhear this. And please show Grandpa this if he's there. We've been looking for a generational talent at pass rusher for a long time. You messed around and found one on the guy who was probably rated the 5th, 6th, or 7th in that year's draft. And now this dude is arguably the best defensive player pound for pound or in his respective position. Come on, man. You got to pay this guy. You have to pay him. Come on, Mr. Rooney. Listen, if you don't do anything else for me, pay him. You got to come up a little bit at least. Like you cannot stick to your same. You done restructured contracts. You done offered an extension. I mean, look, you freeing up money for something. It seems like. Come on, man. And listen, let me address these folks. I see we got our brother on the show, so I'm gonna try to jump off so Tony can give his piece. Definitely give Kenyon his piece, and then we're gonna circle back and let Tony talk about Bell. But man, listen, you got to pay this guy, man. I mean, I don't want to hear it from people who are saying no, we shouldn't pay him. Let's trade. Okay, so why y'all saying that? Look at all these other teams. That would y'all love to have an Aaron Donald on the team right now? He got paid. Hey, would you like to have let's assume TJ is not there. Would you take Myles Garrett as a pass rusher? Why do we always got to say don't pay somebody? Ain't y'all the same ones that was mad that we didn't quote unquote pay Le'Veon? Y'all same people. Y'all the same ones. Ain't y'all the ones that say pay AB? Why y'all acting like we shouldn't pay TJ Watt? I don't get it. This dude, listen to what I'm saying. This dude is I don't want to say by far because I don't want to disrespect nobody, but TJ Watt might very well be the top premier pass rusher in the league right now. And he's on our team. You gotta pay that dude.
And he's young.
Young, bro. I mean, this is homegrown. What do the Steelers always do? Mr. Rooney, if you're hearing this, what do y'all always say? We build through the draft. Well, when you get that guy in the draft, that's that guy. It's time to pay, brother. We cannot lose TJ Watt. And here's the funny thing. And I throw it to you guys. We so used to the way the Steelers work, right? We all tripping about this extension. Technically, if we want to be technical, they don't have to do anything right now because he's under contract.
Yep.
We're just accustomed to the Steelers re-signing guys or extending them before that. But that's the funny thing is like we all of us, including me, we all up in our feelings. But it's like, well, technically, if they can't get it done, they technically could wait until the end of the season. Or, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, can't they negotiate during the season? I know the Steelers.
They don't do that.
They never do it. Yeah,
they never do it. That's the thing. That's what you're saying is exactly the thing. Their precedent is to set the deadline to renegotiate before the season starts because they don't want to do it during the season.
Right.
So I just wanted to say that before. I'm going to let you finish.
So yeah, they could wait until the end of the season. I just think it leaves sometimes a bad taste in the player's mouth. But let's also say this: we don't know what's happening, man. TJ, you never know where they are. It could be a situation where both of them are like, you know what? Let's wait till the end of the season. Like, you never know. But Mr. Rooney, come on, man. This one, you can't mess this one up. You can't. That's all I ask. I don't need nothing for Christmas. I just need you to pay TJ Watt and stop playing.
Well, you need something for Christmas. You just ain't got it yet.
Oh, yeah. But man, and I'm fearful, man. He might not play, and if TJ don't play, listen, I love Melvin Ingram, and Melvin Ingram is still Melvin Ingram. It looks like to me. Love what Highsmith is doing, but come on, man, we need all them boys because the Bills passed the football, and we just finished talking about cornerbacks and versus those receivers, we need TJ to play. We need TJ to play. So that's it, man. That's what I got. So let's throw Tony in the mix, man. Since Tony is on with us now, what we talking about, as you probably heard, Tony, man. Oh, hold on. My bad, Tony. I didn't even add you to the show.
Sir.
Hey, that's all right, man. I just want to say hail to the black and gold, brothers. Hail to the black and gold. This Sunday, we coming out there and we playing some good football.
I hope so.
Hey, you know how I do. I hope so too. Because already. We already talk about the Bills already. We already know. I'm not looking forward to it already. I haven't heard everything. I apologize. I was having problems with my Mac. That's not a good thing. I just wanted to, first thing, Rooney, you can't play around with Watt. You can't pay him. Because you know who's also looking at that? How about Minka is looking at that too? Okay. We got to sign Minka too. So players are looking at that type of stuff. You know, we sort of got a little bit of a reputation in a little bit. We always trying to go cheap all the time. This guy right here is a once-in-a-lifetime player right here. He's one of those guys. You have to play him. You have to pay him.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I was talking about earlier, Kenyon. See, now you went right at it. What if he doesn't play? No one wants to be hurt and then can't get the money that they want. You know what happens sometimes with players? They get hurt and the contract that they would have gotten, they can't get it. That's why Bud Dupree was a little hot when he got hurt. Remember when he got hurt in the Redskin game?
Oh yeah,
he was bothered. That's a contract year. Oh yeah. We don't want that to happen. So you're right. You got to pay that guy like 911. What about like tonight? Open up the checkbook tonight, because on Sunday I love Melvin Ingram, and hey, Hightower is pretty good, but TJ Watt is a lotto. I'm gonna say a triple lotto stud. You have to pay him. You can't play around with that. Some things in life you just can't play around with. You know, we already know about cheap deodorant. You can't play around with cheap deodorant. You can't play around with it. And paying TJ Watt. I don't know what happened right then and there, but you can't play around with him. Now, do you want me to go to Bell or what I think about him? You know, I call him a bum. I call him a bum already, a washed up bum. Okay,
we'll come back to
it. For you to go down to our arch enemies. Now I know, like we know, it's a business, you know, and you go where the money is. I mean, by him being cut, no one really picked him up. You know, he could have, like you said, he was in the trajectory to be a Hall of Fame player. Like you said, Kenya, if he would stay with us. I mean, just, you know, he got a little too big-headed for himself and could have made the money. I mean, I know that's like in the past, but he would have gotten paid more money with us, would have got more rushing yards with us, would have set records with us. But no, you wanted to go go out there, and the Jets was the only team to pick you up. The sorry, washed-up Jets, okay? They haven't been doing anything since I was born. When the Jets, when they won the Super Bowl, 1971, 1970. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. They haven't done anything in over 50 years, okay? You know, and so he goes there, but I understand, you know, I'm glad we're not playing them until, you know, a couple of weeks into the year, because him and Gus Edwards together, that could be a problem. You know, but hey, that's all I can say about him. I just don't like when other players, when teams that players that play with us, You know, I don't have no love for him. I want us to go after him and crack him up. When I say bust him, I want some busting out there. And you know, when he get out there, he get the ball. It's going to be some extra. Let's just say touching out there. It's gonna AFC no football. It's going to be some. Let's just say, you know, let the boys be boys. They just playing. No, it's not going to be none of that. It's going to be some hitting out there because he's going to do some talking, and we're going to be doing some talking. But we need TJ Watt though. I'm sorry, guys. We need him.
We gotta get TJ, bro.
We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you think, Kenya, man? Does he even play? Okay, I know you're gonna give us your signing part, but answer this part too.
Okay.
The deal doesn't get done. Does he play? Is he playing week 1?
That all depends. If he practices tomorrow, tomorrow's the day. Because if he practices tomorrow,
yeah,
with pads, if you see him out there practicing, that tells you everything. Here's the thing: TJ Watt is, as Sim said, as Tony said, as I say, is a generational pass rusher for us. You can't compare it to like Troy Polamalu because Troy Polamalu's big contract came later in his career. But picture yourself that this is Troy in this era, and you had to pay him. He was he's a generational. He's a Hall of Fame generational safety. Like, we probably won't. He's the greatest Steelers safety of all time.
Yeah,
I can say that knowing that I've seen Donnie Shell and
right.
I saw both of them, so I can make that distinction. He's probably as Sim and I and Tony have had text about in the past, he's probably maybe the third or fourth greatest safety in the history of the NFL. So if you're saying that, me and Sim and Tony used to have chats, and I said, because Sim was younger, so Sim would say, well, Troy is the guy because I didn't get to see, Ronnie Lott. I didn't get to see, and me and Tony would joke and say, Troy Polamalu is the second best safety at USC. He was the greatest safety at USC. So that tells you, what kind of talent you have to have. But I would just say, TJ is one of those type of players. He's coming. You have to pay him. And look, the Bud Dupree situation to me is foresight in what the Steelers were thinking when Bud came up, because they were thinking, "Oh, we got to make a choice." He 48/Bud Dupree/ I don't care if you leave. That's how I always felt, and Sim and Tony knew how I felt about Bud. That's why I called him 48. It's so sad I don't have nobody to call a number this year. I got to find somebody. You know what I mean? But it's the same situation. They saw that and said, "Oh, we got to sign TJ." They made a choice. Which guy long term? And TJ has no issues within the organization. Like, you don't hear anything about TJ. Come to work, go home, come to work, go home, come to work, go home. That's all you hear about TJ. So to me personally, you have to pay him his money. And I do believe they're close. It's the guaranteed money. I think they're close. I think they're really, really close. And if they don't sign him and they stick to their guns, I think, as I said earlier to you guys, they may have to adapt. As Sim said, you got to adapt to what's going on with your players.
Yeah.
Because if you sign TJ, you have to sign TJ, you have to sign Minka. Those two players to me are the linchpins of your defense in the future. I would have thrown Bush in there, but I'm on a wait and see approach with Devin Bush because he has to show me that he's back before I say commit money to him. You know what I mean? Even if they'll pick up the 5th-year option, which is a big thing. It's earlier in the year we talked about Terrell Edmonds. They're not picking up his 5th-year option. So they look at it like long term. They don't get in their feelings because it's business. As Sim said, it's business. Sim had the perfect analogy about a label. He's correct. He's correct. That would be the conversation that he and I would have. You know what I mean? We'd have that same conversation. You'd be like, yeah, okay, I don't know. You know what I mean? So TJ, you can't be mad. He has to be paid his market value. He is the best outside linebacker pass rusher in the NFL. I would say he's the second best defensive player in the NFL. So if I'm saying he's the second best, look, he's not better than Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald is generational. And when it's all said and done, he might go down as the greatest D tackle we've ever seen because he's that good. You know what I mean? So if TJ is the second best, he has to be paid as much. And as Sim said earlier, he looked at Joey Bosa getting that contract and signing it and was like, oh, no. I know he's not as good as I am. You know what I mean? And they came in the league, almost the same time. You know what I mean? So, look, the Steelers have to, as Sim said, I'm not pleading with our Rooney. I know what you do. I know what you guys know what you're doing. But sometimes you got to adjust. These are one of those times you have to adjust. Sign that man, sign Mika, and the train won't stop. You know, and the Steelers are built on defense. It should always be built on defense. And, you know, Ben will be gone. As Sim said, the money will be freed up. And I'm just trying to be patient and not, you know, overreact to the situation. I'm not going to overreact. But if he practices tomorrow, that tells you everything you need to know. Because if he practices tomorrow, I'm pretty sure he'll play. Now, people will say, and I don't know how many snaps he'll play, but he'll play. He'll play, and, you know, we have a nice rotation of outside linebackers. And Highsmith, to me, is a burgeoning, you know, he can get into that Lotto stud conversation if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And Melvin Ingram, technically, if you go by the word Lotto stud, he was already that. You know, he just got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm with it. I don't have those same trepidations about TJ. So, you know, I know people want to get him signed. I'm pretty sure he wants to sign. I'm pretty sure the Steelers want to get him signed. But this is business. You negotiate. And in negotiations, sometimes negotiations get ugly. They drag out. And, you know, all you care about is getting the deal done. And if they get the deal done, even if it goes past the date, because people will say, well, if they don't sign him, then they won't have to wait. Not technically, because they've been negotiating the whole time, and they can sign him week 2. And there's an example of this. I think it's Darren Perry years ago that this happened, where they didn't sign him, but like later on in the season it happened. But their claim was, well, you know, we were negotiating in the offseason, it just didn't finish. So maybe that happens. But, you know, he's going to be the highest paid defensive player because it was his turn. It's just his turn. Look, as Sim said, the NFL is the only sport that they make the most money out of every sport. And the players get the least amount of guaranteed money. That's everything you need to say. You know what I mean? NBA players don't have this issue. Baseball players don't have this issue. It's only football players. Football players have just started getting money, money. So the way I look at it is, you know, as Sim said, times do change. You can have a way, but there are certain things, man, you can't. As we always say, there are exceptions to the rule, and you can apply that to all kinds of things. And Sim and Tony know what I'm talking about. There are exceptions to the rule. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Some of them they're just exceptions. Some of them are Colombian. Some of them are, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. So it's just, you can always find an exception. So I'm just being patient. I'm not gonna lose my mind. I would. The fans, you can't get on TJ. It's not TJ's fault. It's not the Steelers' fault. They're negotiating. That's what you do. You're trying to get a contract. He needs to get the most money he can. He's an outstanding citizen. Look, I love TJ. You know what I mean? I want him to be a Steeler forever. You know what I mean? Just like Troy, I want those guys to finish their careers. Hines Ward, I want them to finish their career. Ben, you know what I mean? And I can argue his off-field record is, I mean, Ben is the example of what I'm talking about because Ben was doing all kinds of stuff early in his career.
Right.
That would have not warranted him getting the money he got. But, you know, TJ is not like that. You know what I mean? So I just want it to happen. I'm just going to remain calm. I know we all get upset and all that stuff, and that's great. That's great. We're human. But, you know, I always try to tell you guys, let's just have some perspective on it. That's all I try to do is just have perspective and not overreact. And, you know, I mean, Tony to me is the one that will text you and be upset and pissed and say stuff. And then I'll say, you know, then Sim can be calm, but we're all human. We all get mad. You know what I mean? As I said before, if y'all had a window into our Sunday text, during football games, it would be hilarious. That's a show. You know what I'm saying? It's a show because Sim will lose it, Tony will lose it, I'll lose it. You know, we're all fans. We're all Steelers fans. But
yeah,
I'm cool with it. I just think the deal will get done. I'm just going to remain patient. That's all I can do. That's all we can do now is remain patient.
Yeah.
But I do believe if he practices tomorrow, he'll be out there Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to leave his teammates like that.
That'll say a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, Sim, you know, and except for Ben Roethlisberger, of course, the quarterback is always going to be the exception. But the Steelers have always been that way. They've always taken their time to pay players. Okay, remember when we used to have, remember he used to be our first round pick, the coach with the Tennessee Titans. We let him go.
Yeah.
We let him go.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel.
Yes, Vrabel. So we've known to, at times, have hard negotiations sometimes, you know. But that's just business, if you will. But it's like, I don't want to hear that when it comes to TJ Watt right now.
No, man.
You know, we just don't want to hear that right now. We want you to open up the checkbook and go down there and pay it. I understand it, but, you know, but like you said, we can't get mad at him. We can't get mad at the Rooneys. It's just business. You know, he's performed. I mean, he outperformed 48 the whole time he's been.
Clearly.
I mean, you gotta pay that guy. You have to. And like you said, if he played, because today was their day off. If he comes in tomorrow, you know, we're gonna be texting. You know, we're gonna be texting one another.
Yep.
If he's on that field tomorrow, our ears gonna be to the ground.
Yep.
We're going to be looking forward to him being in practice. Now, like you said, you know, that tomorrow is everything because I can't see him just, you know, Tomlin and them just doesn't do that. They if you don't practice all week, you don't play in the game. Then again, we talk about TJ Watt.
TJ Watt, brother.
TJ Watt.
Tomlin already gave him an out, and that was the other thing I forgot to mention. About his press conference.
Yeah.
He already said, hey, man, you know, because of week one and conditioning, we're going to use a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
So he's already kind of baking that in where, look, TJ might not play that much. Even if he plays. So I don't know, man. It's like any other business in the world. Sometimes you got to do something different to keep up with the Joneses.
Keep up with the Joneses, yeah. And
you know,
also remember, businesses don't get rich by giving everybody what they want when they want it. Like always remember that. Like, you know, I mean, that's you know what I mean?
That's
like,
right.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't become a rich person by saying, oh, I want, you know, this person wants $100 million. I'll pay him. No, they negotiate, get to a point where they have the ability to do what they want to do. So that's, to me, that's all it comes down to. If Steelers, you can call it antiquated old ways. If you want to have that discussion, you can say that. But I think they have to adjust and adapt with this particular player. And as Sim said, Tomlin did give him out. But I will also say this also. Aaron Donald held out with the Rams.
Yes, he did.
He did not show up until that Wednesday. Remember, he signed late. He signed right before the first game. No preseason. He was in Pittsburgh working out. Came in the game and played 80% of the snaps. Some dudes are just built different, and TJ is one of those guys.
Yes.
He's built different. So I don't think TJ. I mean, because what does TJ need to be on? What does TJ need to learn in practice? Like, what? I mean, is it a new scheme?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same scheme. So he'll be okay. It's just gonna come for him. It'll just be how his conditioning is, how his air is. If his air is straight, he might be out there for, you know, assuming the whole time, at least 80 to 70% of the snap. But look, I do believe we'll see all three of them. We'll see all three of them.
Oh,
and that's just what's going to happen. So, you know, I'm cool with it.
Also, I wanted to bring up, too, if he does well, Bush, that is, if he does very well, like you said, he gets back to his to the place that he was at. You realize, and I know this is something real quick, and we can move on. I don't think it's a fifth-year option on the first top 10 player.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
round.
Yeah,
Oh, it is a fifth round?
Yeah,
Okay.
first round, yeah.
I forgot all about that. Okay.
Top 10. Yeah. You get that. Yeah.
Okay.
The question is, will he get a 5th year? Will they pick up his 5th year option? And
Okay.
I believe it hinges on what he does this year. And I'm not saying he has to have a Pro Bowl year. He just has to show them that he's back.
Yeah.
If he shows them that he's back, then they may be more inclined to say, okay, let's pick this up and let's move forward. Because I know a lot of people talk about the trading for Joe Schobert, and they talk about Bush, but then I had to step back and look at it from their perspective. He's coming back from a devastating knee injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I'm Kevin Colbert, I'm trying to help him, and having Robert Spillane out there was not going to help Devin Bush.
Right. That's right.
It's too many, and no disrespect to Spillane. I like Spillane, but clearly he's been a liability in coverage, as we've seen over the last year. So the Bush situation with Schobert, to me, that's, you always try to improve that position. And if you look at it long term, you can say Schobert could be there. I mean, and Schobert really is there for 2 years because because of the trade, he'll be there for 2 years. So you can have that for 2 years, and you can develop like a Buddy Johnson, or hopefully Buddy Johnson comes along, and you have somebody to play with Bush. But it all hinges on how Devin Bush's health and how he plays this year. And I'm cool with it. I still love Devin Bush. As Sim and I loved Devin Bush when he came out. We wanted him when he came out. We always loved him, and so it's just for me. It's just I want to see him play and just be Devin Bush again. And he's still young, man. He's still young, man. I'm not gonna do all that, So that's all. That's all I got on that.
Yeah, y'all be ready to get rid of players real quick, man. Well, guys, we're gonna let's finish up this topic really quick, man. So then I can hold on, let me get Tony back in here. Let's knock out this topic real quick, man. So I can run. I got to get my little man ready for school tomorrow. So got about 4 more minutes or so. But I'll start off, man. How I feel about this upcoming game, and of course I'm gonna do more of this on the pregame. But just to be brief, I don't like it. I mean, let's be honest for a second. Do we expect the team to go undefeated? No. Can you look on your schedule and say there are potential losses? Of course. Am I going to be completely upset if the Steelers lose week 1? I'm not, but I want to see how we play. That's all I'm looking at. What we look like in week 1. Tomlin even said it himself, like, hey, we don't get a chance to warm up this year. We going right into Buffalo, hostile environment, crowd back in there. Bills, Mafia, y'all see all the crazy stuff they do before the game. Playoff team. They got Super Bowl aspirations. They are a good team. Josh Allen being able to do crazy things with his arm, rolling out the pocket, extending the play. Those receivers. I mean, it's a lot for us to go in there and win that game. I just want to see how we do, how we look. So if we lose, I would like to be able to come on to the pregame and say, you know what? I mean, the postgame and say, look, man, we lost the game, but we ain't look half bad. We did all right. And if it's a loss, it's a loss. You keep it moving. But I don't feel good about the game. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I'll go into more depth on the post or the pregame show, but no, I don't feel good about it, man. Let's just be honest. It's the home opener for them. They're a great team. We had some tough times against them in the past. They got mostly all of their arsenal back for the most part on defense and offense. It's going to be a tough game for us, man. So, and we got a lot of unproven things. The offensive line, the cornerback situation. It's a lot. Is the run game going to get going? That's going to be the caveat. Now, I'll dive into that on the pregame show, but that's about all I got on it for the night, man. What you think, Tony or Kenyon, whichever one of you guys want to go first?
I'll let Kenyon close it out. I'm looking at this schedule right now. Okay. Bills, Raiders, Bengals, Packers, Broncos, Seahawks, Browns, Chicago and the Lions. I mean, to Chargers. Then we start going back to the AFC football 2 weeks in a row. AFC North type football. Then you had the Vikings, the Titans, the Chiefs, the Browns, and then we close it out with the Ravens.
Hold on.
I know. I see you wiping your face. Yes.
Wait. We got the Titans, the Vikings, then the Chiefs, and then the Browns.
No. Hold. This is how it's going. The Vikings. These are the last. It's December the 9th. But hold on. Let me break this down to you. December the 5th, we play the Ravens in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Then we go to Minnesota, December the 9th, 4 days later in Minnesota. Then Tennessee comes to our house the next week. The week after that, the Chiefs. The week after that, we come back to Hinesfield, a primetime game. We play the Browns. And then we close out in M&T Bank and play the Ravens. It's not pretty, man. I'm not feeling optimistic right now. I'm just letting you know that right now. Everything this the first 3 games. I mean, the first 4 games is tough. Buffalo, Raiders, Bengals, and the Packers. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right. Where that Packers game at? Is that in Pittsburgh or Green Bay?
It's in Green Bay at 4:25.
You calling it right now? You already called it?
He's a bad man.
You calling it right now?
Aaron Rodgers, dog. Let me tell you something. And we'll get into this later in the season, but we bet to have our pass rush better be at mid-season level, and them corners better have grown up really quick before we go fooling with that boy Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
In Green Bay.
Yes.
That's an L, bro. I'm sorry. Unless
how about the first game?
Unless, listen, man, I'm not. Y'all know me. I'm a realist when it comes to the fanism. Listen, man, we might go out that thing and let's say Najee out there averaging 110, 115 through the first 4 or 5 weeks could be a different ball game because we're gonna have to ball control. But with a lot of these teams, especially the Bills, man, the way they air it out, like y'all know, we seen it. They pass. So we need to, if we can get the running game going, we might could slow down a lot of it. Honestly, I could see a 2-2 after the first 4. I could see that. I could see a 2-2. I think it's going to be tough. Listen, we're talking before the season, guys. We don't know. We might feel different after Sunday. But going into the season, looking at them first 4 games, I could see us winning 2 of those. Maybe it's a surprise. Maybe we surprise the Bills. Maybe we surprise the Packers. And we end up being 3-1. I don't know. But it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. And I see DJ Knight saying they can win. Listen, y'all are some very optimistic fans. There's nothing telling me today that we beat Green Bay. Nothing. Nothing. I got to see it.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I need to see what this goal line is like. I need to see what our secondary look like. Come on, let's be real, y'all. Let's not be. Shout outs to my man, still Jedi if he's in here. I can't do Jedi. Jedi every year we 14-2, 13-3. I can't do that. I don't see it. Prove me wrong, Steelers. And not to mention TJ Watt might not be playing Sunday. I'm just saying, man.
Ooh. And the quarterback is a problem with his legs anyway. Okay. Now we shut down. Now we did shut down first half. Now I'm gonna say first half that Stephon Diggs dude, but then he wind up getting over 100 yards. And then you got Cole Beasley. Then you got Emmanuel Sanders. I know. I didn't want to say that to you guys. And then on the other side of the field, they got a nice team on their defense. So we better come and play. Or we gonna pay, or we gonna be like you said. This is what's gonna happen. Yes. And we can play around with the Raiders. We can play around with the Raiders too, because now, Kenyon, you know this. We shut down the Raiders to under 100 yards, and then threw 2 picks, and we lost that game. You remember Terrell Pryor game? Okay.
Hey, man. And let me ask y'all real quick as a side note. What linebacker on our team right now, when he get matched up against Waller, is covering him?
Ooh, nobody.
And then if we want to cheat and put a corner on him, or we want to bring Minka or somebody down, and then you expose elsewhere. Now, granted, let's be fair to our Steelers. We got some mismatches too going on now. I'm not saying we can't be 4-0. I'm not saying that. I'm just being real. Because sometimes guys, shout outs to Mr. Winningham. He says, look, man, never forget the Steelers in big games. That's when they stand the tallest. He's absolutely correct. But I just take the prove it to me approach rather than the, yeah, we're going to do approach. Nah, I don't. It ain't nothing making me think that we're going to just be the mighty Steelers out the gate.
Wait. Stop. Mr. Winningham. You said when it's big games, the Steelers stand up the tallest, right? We played Cleveland in the first round in the playoffs. That was a big game. Did we stand up in that game? Because that's the last game I remember us playing. And I didn't see nobody stand up. I saw people getting ran over. I saw that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Chris
Hogan. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on.
Blake Bortles.
You know what I'm saying? Tim Tebow.
Tebow.
You want to go there? You want to go there? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Look,
man.
I was all good till you said that. You said that. Sim already on we taking L's. So he's already putting L's on the schedule, but we haven't even played yet. And that's not even Sim's style. So they just tell you how nervous he is about the season. You know, me putting L's up. You know what I'm saying? I expect what I get from Tony. I know what I'm getting from Tony. That's why I like him. You know, that's why he's my brother. But I'm just saying, let me just tell you how I feel about this. They can go in Buffalo, they can win the game. But it's just tough. Because it's those 2 road games, I do agree with both of you guys. Buffalo and Green Bay, those are death traps. Those are like real death traps. Those are like, you don't want to go there. So for me, it's like I think, as Tony makes a good point, the Steelers do play around with the Raiders. And yeah, you are right. The Raiders do have a mismatch, but we have mismatches on them that it's not even funny. You know what I mean? It's really not even funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have nobody to cover Juju. They have nobody to cover Claypool. They have nobody to cover Deontay Johnson. So those 3 guys right there, they have nobody to cover. And I'm gonna say this: Eric Ebron. They have nobody to cover Eric Ebron. They have nobody to cover Pat Frymuth. So the Bills game, to me, in a lot of ways, I feel like this: if we lose, but we were balling, I'm real positive. I'm gonna be real positive. I'm like, okay, cool, great. We did great. Go ahead.
So let me ask you a question. Now, one more game that we're not talking about. Corvette. Yeah, see, we lost to another team too with these 4. That's that we're gonna be playing the 3rd game, and Corvette. You remember Corvette game?
Yeah,
There's no way in the world we should have lost that game. But what happened? We lost.
We got that one.
No, we gonna look. If I'm looking at the schedule, I'm saying,
is that one in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll win.
Well,
all I gotta do is go to the game. Every time I go to the Bengals game, we win. Every time I've gone.
Look.
Well, you better make sure you go.
The Bengals game is that's September 26th. That's week 3. So that's at the house. But if you look at it, we have 2 road games that are going to be tough. But the biggest game, if we take care of business, we can win that game. Cincinnati, yeah. Denver surprisingly will be a tough game because Denver has a defense.
Man, listen, all I know is this right here, and then we gonna wrap this thing up, guys. LD Carter, thank you again for your donation. He says, if we don't turn the ball over, I see nothing worse than 3-1. Who saw 11-0? I'm just saying, no team way better than us when we not turning it over. However, we can't forget this. How many question marks did we have last year?
Whew.
The only question mark I can recall was like, man, is Ben back? How's his arm? That's it. We didn't enter that season with a rookie center, a rookie left tackle. I'm not going to mention Dotson because I think Dotson's ready to go. Yep. A Chukwuma Okorafor playing the way he plays. A Devin Bush coming off of ACL surgery. No Mike Hilton to blitz off the edge. Joe Hayden with Cam Sutton on the outside primarily. And then when we go nickel, another guy who has not played in the NFL in terms of real games. We like him, but James Pierre. Or it could be like Kenya said, maybe Witherspoon will be ready. But there are way more question marks. And again, Carter and anybody else who might be taking it this way, I'm not saying that we can't go do it and get the job done. I'm just saying when you start looking at things from a realistic standpoint, it adds up. You're like, yeah, it's hard for me to have the same level of confidence when we have had these question marks the entire offseason. It's just hard for me to see us beating teams like the Bills who got pretty much their full complement of guys. It's going to be hard to do that, and the Packers as well. It's going to be hard to get what I always say every year. I don't know what that team is until about week 6, 7.
Yeah, I don't know till week 8.
They still getting it together,
Yeah, you don't know. You have to look at as Tom always points out, the season is in quarters. It's like, 4 games. That's how they kind of look at it, and you kind of want to be peaking at a certain point. And as Sim said, it's and I don't want to, I would just suggest L to go back to last year post game videos that Sim made when we were going 11-0, and every video we were like, yeah, we're winning.
We're not a good team.
but it's it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. There's been teams we've had teams that were 7-4, and I felt great about. I was like, I like us. But this team didn't feel right. So when it kind of went bad, we kind of saw it. We saw it coming, and not to be negative, but we kind of saw it coming. So,
yeah, man,
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna remain positive. I know Sunday the text will start at 10:05. My time, 105 for y'all time, and I will be hearing from Tony and Sim. And shout out Leonard. I would just say this.
Leonard, I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't be driving me crazy.
Leave Sim alone. He's trying to watch the game.
Leonard be panicking, boy, early.
Don't panic because you make him panic, and then he texts us. And then we have to be essentially his psychiatrist while the game is going on. And I don't want to do that to Sim because he walks back to the house and he's pissed off and he says, I'm leaving and I can't take it. It's just too much stress. We're in a pandemic. Everybody relax. So I'm just saying, me and Tony will be chilling. We don't have to deal with that. But I always say Sim is like a dominatrix, a sub. He just wants punishment. He wants to come back home. He wants to come back and just get it from living.
I see a lot of, and this is the last thing I say because I got to run, guys. But
okay,
I see a lot of y'all talking about potential, man. If that's what we based it on, every year we go into the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Like we can't say all of that. Yeah, Canada's an upgrade, but we have not seen it in action. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
We are I wonder what we are team right now. The team we're facing Sunday know exactly who they are. Yep. It just fell that way for them this time.
Yep.
So did the Packers. So that's all I'm saying is when you look at teams and man, I got to see what we are first before I can say, no, we're going to get that one. I have no evidence.
Hey,
Now, do I have
hey,
evidence
hey.
that we're gonna lose? No, but I'm saying it's.
He's just
I don't
being
have
real.
no evidence. Yeah, I'm just being real. That's all.
Hey, Kenyon, I'm gonna make sure I'm going up the way. We watching the game with the Packers together, man. I'm not gonna let you go on suicide watching. You might need to watch me because if we 0-3, by that time I need somebody to help me out to get off the ledge, man.
Y'all funny. Y'all funny. I always y'all funny. I'm glad I'm not back there because if I was close to y'all and I had to watch games, look, I know me, Sim, and Tony will be straight. We'll be cool. And I don't even like watching games with people, with nobody. I don't want nobody around me. But I'm just saying. But I could not, because Sim would be like, hey, we're going to go over to, my father-in-law Leonard's house. I would be like, you know what? You can go over there by yourself. And I'm going to sit right here and watch the game over here. Give me a snack
man,
and I'm going to be straight.
Gotta lock in, man.
Right. I got to, because if he say something like, man was saying our running game is trash. Look, I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it. Look, as I said before, he's not a real Steelers fan. I keep trying to tell y'all that. He is a Washington football team fan. Okay? He is not a Steelers fan. Stop trying to bring him in our family. He's not part of the family yet. You know what I mean? You got to get initiated. Man. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel.
Man, it's listen, we'll see, guys, and it's been a good one. But like I said, guys, just for the chat, I gotta run, man. Gotta deal with little man before he go to bed. Y'all and Tony know how's that. Tony kids are older now, but he knows how that is.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I'll be back. I will be back. I don't think we got nothing happening Saturday, so I'm gonna try to shoot for Friday for the pregame. So I'm gonna shoot for that. I can't promise the time or anything, but I'm gonna shoot for Friday. If it doesn't happen Friday, if you don't get your notification, it will be Saturday. But I kind of play that one by ear, and I'm gonna try to do better this year with locking in, an actual day. So I say we'll shoot for Friday. But anyway, guys, I gotta get out of here. Like always, we appreciate you guys coming through. I was glad to have the whole trio here tonight. For you newcomers, Still Table happens every so often. Typically on Tuesday, it's just me rambling, talking about the upcoming opponent and reflecting again on the game that we played the day before or the 2 days before. Post-game show follows the game. It's immediate gut reactions, and that's usually how we do it. But outside of that, hope you guys have a great night. If you like what you saw tonight, make sure you hit the like button. Better than that, make sure you subscribe, cut on your notifications, so therefore you know when we live. But for myself, and like they do on TV, for myself, Kenyon and Tony, we are signing out. We thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe, God bless, and good night. Peace.
Good night.